welcome back to another vlog. I hope you are well. Thank you so much for being here. We are starting out today sitting right outside my work building for an in-office work day. I have actually not been here in person to work my 9 to 5 in quite a long while, like since very, very early December. I want to say like right around the 14th is when we took our vacation. And then after that, I had taken off the rest of the year. And after that, my boss said to feel free to work remotely, be more flexible until around January 15th. But now it is currently January 16th. So it is time for me to get back to the in-office, in-person working lifestyle. My only worry about resuming my normal in-office schedule is that I've been doing so well with being consistent and keeping on track with all of my goals for 2025 that I set in my New Year's reset video, which if you haven't seen that, go take a peek, because a lot of the things I talk about and do in my vlogs to come are going to make a lot more sense when you know like where my mind is at starting this year and like what I want to accomplish. But I have been doing 2 of my goals literally during the time that I normally do my commute for my in-office days, my Bible study and prayer in the morning during the time when I'm doing my morning commute, my walk, my 30-minute daily walk, literally during the time that I'm commuting home from work, like during those little half-hour windows. So those things aren't going to come quite as easy on my in-office days like they do on my remote days, where I have that little extra time after waking up that I don't need to be getting ready and getting in the car and making the commute to the office. But I feel pretty good about the Bible study because of my new Amazon Kindle, which I talked about in my New Year's reset that my mom got me for Christmas. I have a Bible app on here right here that I can just go into. It's called Olive Tree Bible app, but like any Bible app really will do. But I can go in and read the Bible from here. And I feel like this is really easy to just bring to work and pull out as opposed to like a whole Bible. And something on here I've been wanting to show you is this goal tracker app. It's just called Goal Tracker. And I have looked on the Apple App Store and like Google Play and everything, and I have not seen it on there. So I don't know if it's exclusively for Amazon Kindle, exclusively Amazon, I don't know, but it's really nifty because I have my 2 goals on here for now. I have other goals, but I don't feel like I need to track them the way I need to track these 2 things, and they are my daily walks and my Bible study. So I can go in to each category and there's a little calendar like this. And if I get the goal done, if I complete the goal, I give myself a check. And then if I don't, type of thing. And it's really, really cool because if you go out of it, which this is really hard to see because the text is super small, but it shows like as a fraction how many days you completed versus did not complete. So like right now it says 3 out of 3, 3 for 3, because the last 3 days I have completed those goals. On both goals, I have check marks for each day. But I really like this concept, and I have kind of been wanting something like this for a long time. And when I saw that it was an app, I was so excited. I just feel like it's a really easy way to self-reflect and understand how much work you're putting in. Because sometimes I feel like we think we're putting in more work than we really are. And then it just sucks when you don't see the result that you want, or when you don't reach the goal that you had set. So this is a really good way to keep myself accountable. And it's actually kind of fun in a way. And it kind of brings out my very, very innermost OCD in a way, because it makes me feel like if I don't get it done, I don't get to do the check mark, and I want the check mark type of thing. The human mind is so simple, like just little things like that. Why do they help? I don't know, but they really just do. But anyway, that Bible app will certainly help, even if I just like pull my tablet out during my lunch. And even with the walks, it's really cold right now. I don't like walking outside when it's cold, but when it warms up a little bit, I could easily do a lunchtime walk as well. Anyway, let's just get through this work day. We'll figure it all out as we go. Get through this work day and then get to the 3-day weekend, which I'm really looking forward to. We have like no solid plans right now. I know we need to do a Costco run. We are like literally clean out of all of our favorite little beverages to have in the house. I'm hoping to get some returns done this weekend also on some of the Christmas gifts that we received that didn't quite work for us. I always feel like the worst person returning gifts that I receive, but you know, you just reach an age where you just don't have like the space or the patience to hang on to things that don't serve you, that don't, you know, make you happy. things you just don't need. Also this weekend, Hunter and I really want to go take a look at a neighborhood of homes that we are certainly open to and certainly considering. We've not seen the actual neighborhood in person yet because it is a little bit of a drive from where we're currently living, but we are familiar with the area. We've seen photos of the neighborhood. We've seen photos of the homes. We've seen floor plans. We've been able to explore the options of either doing a move-in ready home or actually building, which is crazy and not something we thought we'd be able to accomplish at this age, simply because the area that we live in, home prices are so high. And that's on top of the already absurdly inflated interest rates. Like, our generation wanting to buy homes did not get dealt a very good hands. It's like my dad always says, who dealt this mess? You know, like, who dealt this mess, really? We just want a home, and we want a nice home, and we want a good value for our home. And looking in this area that we're currently in, it's not looking too good. It's definitely a possibility for us, but it's kind of forced us to look at other options further away from here. So we want to give it a shot. And on top of that, we actually have a meeting on Friday, tomorrow, with one of this, what would you call it? Like, property owner, like the builders, one of their representatives we're meeting with. And she's just going to give us basically the whole entire rundown on like everything, just the whole process. Talk about the lots that are available more in depth, talk about the neighborhood, the area, talk about the builders, talk about the construction process, timeline, contracts, you know, all of the financing, all of those details. It's just the initial meeting is what she labeled it. So it's literally just getting to know what we're working with a little bit more. We're not committing to anything by any means. It is a little scary to me because we'd literally be picking up and leaving, and it's not like we're moving hours away. It's just like we'd still both be able to commute to our current jobs. It's just very different from what we've been considering and talking about and planning on for the longest time. We've always thought that our lives were going to be here for the long term. Our kids' lives were going to be here. They were going to go to a school district here. We were going to work jobs here. But the way that these house prices are just changing everything. But I just wanted to actually give you some context because we are going to be doing a lot of that in this vlog, and I want to get you on my level. I want to get you caught up to speed. So that's life lately. Let's head inside, get this workday started, and I'm sure I'll catch up with you either later today or maybe tomorrow, maybe on Saturday. I really don't know. But I will see you when I see you. Joining me today on a gloomy little Monday morning outside the office for work day. I'm in a little bit of a bad mood this morning. Just a little disclaimer, because I got cut off on the drive here, and it wasn't like they just cut me off. Like, there was like one car space, like a little over a car space between me and a big truck, and somebody proceeded to just squeeze themselves into that space and then start to brake right in front of me. So that wasn't so fun. And on top of that, I didn't get a very good parking spot today, so I have like street traffic driving past me on repeat, which is kind of distracting, but it's fine. Like, I need to honestly chill a little bit because there's no reason to allow this to put me in a bad mood, especially after the last few weeks I've had. It's been like nearly 3 weeks since I last spoke to you all, which I am so sorry for, because that has meant that I haven't had a video up on my channel in like 3-ish weeks, which is just not cool and not at all how I wanted to start 2025, because one of my goals was to upload consistently. So we're going to have to just allow myself to have that hiatus that I've just had and then just kick it into high gear starting now. It's been a really crazy couple of weeks. So it's not like I've just been lazy about it. To be honest with you, this whole house thing that I started talking about last time I spoke to you 3 weeks ago has kind of sent me into a spiral. Starting literally right after I put the camera down when I last talked to you all, we met with an agent through the builder on Friday, and that went really well. We just got some good information that we didn't have before that kind of allowed us to feel more comfortable investigating further, continuing to consider it as an option for us. Saturday, we went and saw the lot and the neighborhood in person with my family. And then Sunday, we did the same, but with Hunter's family. And that was where we were kind of met with our first challenge. Because when we started to explain this and traffic, like I said, when we started to explore this with our families involved, we were met with two completely separate reactions on completely opposite sides of the spectrum. To be met with completely opposite reactions from two groups of people that you care about and love so much and care about their opinion and value their opinion so much was just a lot. And to be honest, that just ended up causing a lot of unnecessary emotional and mental turmoil for the both of us. And in hindsight, we just kind of wished we had not even told our families about it until we were more sure of the idea, until the idea was a little bit further along, a little more developed, because we literally opened up and told them as soon as we came up with the idea. Basically, as soon as we were exposed to the idea, basically we just came right out with it and we were like, hey, look at this, as opposed to just discussing it between ourselves. It just ended up being a whole lot of conversation and discussion and deliberation about a whole lot of nothing in the end, really. And so we ended up in a spot where nothing just quite felt right to either of us. Like, it didn't feel right to do this move, to build this home with this builder that we had talked to and move away from where we are now. It didn't feel right to build a home here or move into a move-in ready home here where we currently are. It didn't feel right to keep renting either and keep, losing potential equity and keep throwing our money into a black hole for our landlord. Nothing was just quite feeling right. And that was a really hard situation to be in. That was a really tough feeling to have. And so we ended up just deciding to just sit and just sit still, because if nothing feels right now, the worst decision we can make is the one that's going to affect us for our future, which would be a home. So long story short, we're going to keep renting. We're going to stay in our apartment for another year or two, maybe more. I really don't know. But I think we're just going to keep doing that until something feels right for us. So now we're sitting in a spot where we're like, well, we're going to keep renting, but I still don't know where we're going to end up. Are we going to stay here? Are we going to move where we were just looking at moving? Are we going to move out of state? No idea. And I'm not going to lie to you, to not know is really hard. And I've just been in that whole predicament the last 3 weeks, is just a state of unknowingness and a state of extreme humility that I have no idea what I'm doing. And it's reminded me to be humble before God. The beauty of it is that we don't know, but God knows, and that is all we can ask for. And in this whole situation, I kind of have learned, or God has helped me to learn. He's helped me to see and self-reflect how I've handled the situation, and it wasn't very good. It wasn't a very good job by me. I spent so much time trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what I could control, what I could plan for, what I wanted to happen, what I wanted the outcome to be, how I could get that outcome, as opposed to just giving it to God and being led by faith. But I was listening to a sermon this morning by my pastor from my local church, and he was talking about how so many of us want to control what's going on in our lives, and we wonder why things are happening, and we feel we need to count on ourselves instead of count on God instead. And he said, basically, do you realize that this is exactly what Adam and Eve did in the Garden of Eden? They thought that God didn't have their best interest in mind. They didn't trust him to do what was best for them. They took the world into their own hands instead of letting him take care of them. That was a word for me this morning, because I realized that I was doing that same exact thing. I was trying to figure out how I could plan out every little detail, how I could make what I wanted to happen instead of just walking in faith and letting the Lord lead the way for me, as he always has. So I definitely had my rights read to me. Thank you, Lord, for reminding me just who the heck I am and humbling me a little bit, because my goodness, to think that the Lord isn't going to provide for me like he always has, like that's crazy. That is crazy. Good morning from my usual parking spot at work. I managed to win her back because yesterday parking on the street just was not the same. It was literally like an extra 20 to 30 steps, probably further from my building than this spot that I'm in right now. But there's just something about getting to work and parking in your usual parking spot that just makes you feel like something's going right, that the day is just starting the way it needs to. I can't really explain it. That is human psychology. It's Tuesday and I'm getting ready to head inside. I have a somewhat busy day, but like not terribly. I feel like yesterday was really busy. Mondays always are, because I'm just knocking out as many tasks as I can, because that's when I'm feeling the most productive and like ready to go, like recharged after the weekend type of thing. So I don't have as much on my plate today because I did knock out quite a bit yesterday, but I do have a big team meeting today to get through. And then after work, I am going to run to Target for a little like just a girl kind of haul, literally just some coffee, espresso type of stuff, and some Excedrin painkiller because I just ran out yesterday. So I'm going to try and swing that after work today if I feel like it. I'm hoping I'm not, too lazy to go, basically, because sometimes Target just doesn't feel like the place I need to be. But yeah, that's what our day is looking like today. It's been a very like average week for me. There's not been a whole lot out of the ordinary. I feel like I'm starting to recover from the chaos of the last few weeks, and now I'm just like sitting back in cruise control. Is that what you would say? Airplane mode. Something was going on in my spiritual realm, for sure. It was that serpent in the Garden of Eden trying to tell me that God isn't God, that God isn't who he is, that God isn't powerful, that God isn't all-knowing, that God isn't going to take care of me. It was all of that being spoken into my ear, and it affected every little bit of my daily life. But anyway, I did manage to get back on track with my goals, which was a little worrisome for a minute there. I'll show you. Let's do a quick little like goal check-in. So right now, it's been 22 days since I started. With my daily prayer and Bible study, I'm at 19 out of 22, which is pretty darn good. And yet the enemy was still all up in my ear. Like, that's crazy. The walking is what really took a hit for me, because again, I was just feeling so demotivated because it just felt like I couldn't accomplish anything at that time, which is ridiculous. Once again, looking back, I don't know what I was thinking, especially with the God I serve. I don't know what I was thinking. And then I also was dealing with like a 3-day long migraine, and that really took me out. So I think you'll be able to see it on here. It was like this whole, where am I? This whole chain of X's right here was like those migraine recovery days. So that's 5 days that I missed in a row, which isn't great. So that's putting me at 13 out of 22, which isn't where I saw myself. Oh, I did complete yesterday though. So let's give myself a check for yesterday. I think I might try to take a walk, maybe over my lunch today, maybe after lunch, or maybe early this morning. I don't really know yet, but I feel like I would like to do that because I love walking outside. We've had like a warm front. I don't know if you'd be able to call it a whole warm front. Ow. But just like a slew of nicer days, like in the 50s, which is really nice around here because it's been pretty consistently in like the 20s. And Hunter and I really took advantage of that time to get some outdoor walks in because we've just been walking on the walking pad, and outdoor walks just hit so different. Like the fresh air is so nice, hearing the birds chirping. This right here is my last coffee pot. I used it this morning. So again, we're gonna need to re-up later at Target. So I'm gonna see you then. I'm really enjoying not having makeup on. I'm wearing no makeup right now, just a little moisturizer. I forgot to put on sunscreen, which is bad because I'm using retinol and I need to be wearing sunscreen to protect my skin, literally. Luckily, the UV here is like 0, but I'm kind of a fan. Like, obviously I don't look as put together. I don't look as primped. I don't know. I probably don't look as feminine, but to me, like, I like it. I feel like it just looks like me. It just looks like I don't know. And I feel like I'm liking it a lot more now with the weight loss that I've undergone than I did when I was overweight. Like, I feel like when I was overweight, I had to have some sort of makeup on my face, which is so interesting, again, with the human psychology of that. Whereas now my face is a little thinner. I don't have quite as much cheek going on. If I can feel comfortable without makeup at work, I love that for me, because that just takes up my time in the mornings. You know, I love makeup. I love doing my makeup. I love how it looks. I love new products. But, you know, maybe that's going to just become like a weekend remote day kind of vibe, because this feels nice. My little cheeks have some color because I was just out in the cold getting what I needed from Target. I'm going to give you a quick haul and then we're going to head right home. I got two things that I actually like desperately needed. Some new coffee pods. I just used the last one today, like I said, and honestly, I'm glad I did, because I didn't really enjoy them that much. And I think they were just a little bit too dark of a roast for me. I am, like, you could probably say I'm not really a coffee drinker because I only like light roast. So I just got the Good and Gather breakfast blend. Also, like I had mentioned earlier this morning, I picked up some more Excedrin migraine relief because I just ran out of that. I used a lot of them. I'm ashamed to say, but I did use a lot of them during that like period where I had 3 straight days of migraine. And then I also had one last night. I think it was just from under eating throughout the day though. So I just took the last of them last night and woke up feeling fine this morning, obviously, but I have to have these in the house. Otherwise, I don't know. I will be scrambling to try to find something to take the pain away. These just work really well whenever I have any sort of migraine, regardless of what the cause is. Stress ones, I feel like I can't kick though. That's the only type of migraine that like really just shakes me to my core. But these ones have acetaminophen, aspirin, and caffeine. So it's like a wombo combo, and something about it just really works. Also grab some milk because we just ran out of that too. We do 1% because Hunter was raised on 2% and I was raised on skim. So we've kind of settled around 1% and we actually enjoy that the most. You really didn't ask, but you got the whole backstory anyway. The rest of the stuff that I picked up is probably not considered necessities like that stuff is. That stuff is on its own level of necessary, and this stuff is like on a lower tier for me, but I wanted it. I picked up some more of the chai concentrate that I love to make hot chais with. So good. We'll probably make one together. Excuse me. We'll probably make one. I better not be coming down with a cold because one of my colleagues today was saying, did you avoid what's going around right now? And I was like, what? I'm sorry. Like, is there something I need to know about? Like, I better not be getting sick. I should really, after I put these groceries back on my passenger seat, remind me to put some hand sanitizer on to lather up. Okay. The remainder of what I got, I'm feeling guilty about. I used to get these all the time, but they just are so expensive, and I got to a point where I couldn't justify it anymore, but I miss them. I really do. And if you know, like if you've been here, you know I had a moment with these. I got some Olippops. They were like buy 3 get 1 free. So I got my 2 established girlies that I know and love, cherry cola and vintage cola, and they have the Christmas packaging still, which like just kind of drew me in a little bit, made me a happier buyer. And then these 2 flavors are newer and I haven't tried either. This one is Ridge Rush. It's supposed to be like Mountain Dew, I think, and then the crisp apple I've heard so many good things about, and I still haven't tried it, and it's been around for a little bit. So naughty of me, because all of that was like $8. So ridiculous, but they are so good. And they just, I don't know, they hit different than regular soda to me. I don't know why. I am not forgetting. I'm not forgetting this. Stay healthy out there, folks. Okay, please. Good morning. Happy Thursday. I know I've been vlogging in the car a lot in this vlog, like actually for the entirety of it, unfortunately. But it's been busy. Like life has been busy, and honestly, my favorite time to chat is in the car because I feel like I'm in here a lot, and like this is my intermission from daily life. I would like to do better about vlogging inside the house more. But here I have like just the right angle set, and it's easy to just prop up my camera and just start talking because this is like filler time for me in my life. Anyway though, like I said, today is Thursday. I'm at work as per usual on the weekdays. Today's my last in-office day for the week. So tomorrow I get to be remote on Friday, which those days are always days I look forward to, obviously. And today's also day 3 of like 3 months of going to work without one of my like primary colleagues that I collaborate with a lot. He's now on parental leave for 3 months. So that has definitely been interesting. That's definitely changed up my day-to-day, changed up my workload for sure. But nonetheless, I actually got on the scale this morning, did a random spontaneous weigh-in, and I am back down to my all-time low weight, which I haven't seen since like mid-December. And then things just like took a turn from there because we went through the holidays. I went on vacation, you know, it was just a lot. It was just a lot all at once. And I think I put on some weight from the holidays, from the vacation that I was just like struggling to lose and just like playing with for a little while. So now I'm finally back down to my all-time low, and I really want to keep going with that. I really want to see myself get below that number. And it's even more significant to me because the number I'm at is like exactly 10 pounds away from my original goal weight, which I never even thought I was going to get close to be honest with you. So praise the Lord for that, because all glory be to him in this. But I'm at like that like perfectly rounded number of 10 away from my healthy weight according to medical professionals and health professionals. So that's really exciting because for the longest time I was lingering like 2 pounds over the weight that I'm now at, like 2 pounds over my all-time low, or 3 pounds, 2 or 3 pounds around there, because I would eat so well during the week, and then I had a lot of bad weekends in a row. Our family has loved to take us out to eat, and like the past few weekends, both of our families have asked us out for 2 separate meals. So like that adds up when you're not paying attention to like what exactly you're ordering. So I really want to, my goal going in now, reaching my all-time low again, is to be consistent on the weekends, which that doesn't mean I'm not going to go out, but maybe like instead of getting like a breaded meat, getting a grilled meat, instead of getting like a, I don't know, like a fried side or like a very calorie dense side, getting a vegetable or something like that, which sounds miserable, hence why I've struggled with it for so long. But I really want to hit this goal, and I really want to hit it soon before I take my wedding pictures. So, you know, call me toxic. I know that the like weight loss world and the world of health and stuff is like very touchy. It's a very touchy topic for people, but I'm just being honest with how I'm approaching it. That doesn't mean everybody should approach it that way, obviously. You know, I'm a communications specialist. I don't specialize in health. So we're gonna really lock in with that, because I've been locking in pretty well with my goals. I've walked the last 2 days, so that puts me up to 16 out of 24. And ooh, I haven't actually read my Bible, which I feel like I shouldn't count those as days, because I have been like really active in my prayer life, and I've been doing daily devotionals that are biblically inspired, that include Bible verses. I'm gonna have to think about that. I'm not really sure. Oh, I have my library app on this Kindle Fire, so I'm able to like check out books from my local library and download them onto here for like the time frame that you're allowed to. And a new book that I had on hold is ready for me, so I'm really excited. There she is. I already downloaded her on here. I need internet to read a book for real. That's a little rough. That makes me feel like this isn't really practical if I can't read a book without internet. Anyway, it is Joyce Meyer's Battlefield of the Mind. How appropriate for my current situation, am I right? Honestly, I think it's going to be a very refreshing read given my experiences right now. I feel like the house stuff has kind of come down. I feel like Hunter and I were like on a high about it. And now we're just like, yeah, we're just gonna wait. I mean, there's no reason to rush into it. There's no reason to even talk about it right now because we're still locked into a lease. We've been looking on like homes.com and just looking at listings and just seeing what's out there. But realistically, we're not going to be even considering putting down any money on a home until maybe 2 months out of our lease end date. So that is in September, I think, like late end of September. So might start looking in like August, but we're also not going to be married until August. So, and it would probably be better for us to secure financing and everything as a married couple. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot we're gonna have to figure out. But again, we're literally just not gonna stress about it because we've both realized, like in our own ways, that it doesn't make sense to do that. What I will say is I get a little frustrated again with this little thing. Let's try our new coffee pod that I got yesterday. That was a hot sip, but I think I like this better. I think what I didn't like about the other ones, because I think they were also a light roast, but it was like the cinnamon ones, and they had a weird taste to them. Like they had a weird undertone of flavor that just I didn't like, that I would get with each sip. I like a plain tasting coffee, and I think this is giving me that. This is giving me like diner Folgers vibes that I know a lot of people don't like, but I do. But as I was saying, I get a little frustrated because I look at homes elsewhere and what money can buy you for a home in a completely separate state versus what a home can buy you here in my state is ridiculous. And it makes me crazy a little bit. But it just like, it's gotten me to the point where I look at listings for homes in other states and I'm looking at like my dream home for the price of a starter home here. And I'm like, what is that? But that's where we lie. That's where the whole situation is right now. It's with God, as it should be. But I'm gonna stop putting off this work day. I'm gonna head up to my office now, get it started. I have some good work to get done today, a nice size to-do list. I am really excited for this next vlog because I really wanna do like an updated TBR list and kind of like books I've read and my thoughts on them. I haven't really done anything like that in a while. I feel like I kind of started to on my channel and then I like just was like, nobody really cares. But I know a few of you have mentioned that you enjoy hearing about what I'm reading and things like that. So I think I'm going to do a nice little calm, cozy, at home kind of vlog for my next one. And I will have a next one and it will be next week. We will be returning back to a weekly basis. Okay? Because the inconsistency is not giving. It's just not giving. So I hope to see you in my next one. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a really just good feels type of video. I can already feel it. I'm sensing it. I hope you'll join me for that one. And thank you in the meantime so much for joining me for this one, despite it being so late. Thank you for listening to my rantings. Thank you for just catching up with me. I really love and appreciate you. I hope to see you in the next one, and I hope you have a great rest of your week.